trillion seconds is 32,000 years, so a trillion seconds is from 30,000 BC.
That's new to me.
Present, and seconds are not very
right.
Good. I mean, what Bernie Madoff couldn't do in his Ponzi scheme was print money, and basically got a gigantic Ponzi scheme going. But the Fed has been dumping trillions and trillions and trillions of fiat currency into the system. And it gets doubled each time.
Right. I think it goes up $2 trillion each year, our national debt, and $1 trillion, $1 bills can stretch to the sun and back.
Yeah, and I voted for Ron Paul in the last election because I could. You know, I'm an independent, but I could vote for him.
Right, because it was an open primary, right. So therefore you could vote for two.
But it's sort of, I mean, it's collapsing. This is what it looks like. So all we can hope is that we're organized to pick it up after it collapses, and we have to do it state by state.
Right. We
can't united front because it's united on the wrong policies.
Do you like the way it's controlled, so that if you're against Obama, you must be for whoever the idiot is that's the Republican?
Right, Mitt Romney. Paul.
Yeah, Ron Paul. I mean, why the heck didn't he get, you know, you saw they screwed him over on all.
Right, I can't believe they're just doing it in plain sight, though. And they're just testing how many people are going to actually look into it or not.
Yes. Hey, from what I hear, you know, those FEMA camps are fully staffed.
Yeah, they're on 3-day notice, 72-hour notice.
Yeah. They're ready. You know, all they got to do is pull another one of these epidemic things.
Yeah, another 9/11.
We got to take these people to the camp so everybody else don't get sick. And, you know, away goes these people.
Is it really that? I read a book that was made like 3 months ago and it was 14 trillion, but I'm not surprised. It said it goes up 2 trillion a year.
If you divide that by the population of the United States, kids and everybody, you end up with something like $20,000–$40,000 a person.
You end up with $100 a gallon gasoline if you take
it up. But what I'm saying is, instead of giving it to the banks or in the war, they could have stimulated the economy directly by allowing people to pay down their debt in the tune of 20 or 40,000. How many kids they have, whatever.
The U.S. doesn't really care a lot about the Constitution as far as freedoms and individual rights. Ron Paul people seem to actually care quite a bit about that.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So, you know, in 1913, the Rockefeller family decided to put their money into a tax-exempt trust, and they haven't paid taxes on their income, the full amount of their wealth, in 100 years. The Rockefeller Brothers Fund, the Rockefeller Family Trust are the two main entities, and they fund all kinds of top-down policy. Family members sit on the boards of directors of these nonprofits and wield the power that their money produces, their tax-exempt money produces, like a club on the rest of us. And using that system, they can take their money and pre-position their investments using their tax-exempt money to drive public policy to benefit from those policies being enacted.
See, that's
so it's a never-ending cycle of creating more wealth and having the power to do it in a non-profit, NGO, tax-exempt fashion.
Right. And it's like they print the money, so if you have control of the money.
You're basically quoting a founding member of the Rothschild family.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay.
Who wrote, you give me the power over a country's money, and I care not what the laws are. Well, Eileen Rockefeller Growall, David Rockefeller's youngest daughter, lives in Shelburne on Shelburne Farm. She endowed and is got a permanent position on the board of Shelburne Farms. They promote Agenda 21 policy. She is probably in the building over there because the Free Press article said they would be there. She and her husband Paul Growall. They're big Obama people. Stetson, so you've got the Rockefeller fortune, the IBM fortune, and the Dow Jones fortune. Big trust funders backing Obama, getting close to the seat of power. You have people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett who put their money into the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah.
So they could, again, tie up their money just like the Rockefellers did in a tax-exempt entity that they could still use the proceeds from to push public policy. Push public policy down on the rest of us. And they have access, and they buy access. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates can walk into the White House whenever they want. Eileen Rockefeller Growald hosted the 2010 Vermont Democrat campaign fundraiser at her house on Shelburne Farms, and the bill for her taxes doesn't go to her, it goes to the Rockefeller Family Trust in New York City.
It's pretty mind-blowing piece.
You can edit that anyway. And there's this really liberal teacher from the elementary school.
Right.
They've hung a sign on the elementary school fence that says, "Welcome President Obama." And she's standing out in the middle of the road trying to get a picture of it. I'm walking by, so I just stand in front of the sign. She says, "You gotta move, I'm with the school." And I'm like, yeah, and I'm standing on public property, and oh, by the way, the school's public property.
You got Channel 3 News here.
You know what? Here, put it on me again for a second.
Yeah.
So Channel 3 is CBS, that's owned by Viacom, which is owned by Sumner Redstone. Sumner Redstone is a wealthy Hollywood socialist billionaire.
Wait, was that, you said they're owned by Viacom?
Yeah, CBS, Viacom.
More and more oriented on the self-activity of ordinary people as what's going to be necessary to win real change, regardless of whoever's in office, because it doesn't look like Obama's, doing anything for us yet.
It's like
So we want to say, we want to demand Obama shift the way that he's using our society's resources. Instead of closing schools, we should be closing Vermont Yankee. Instead of closing post offices, we should be closing down the prison system in the U.S.
And no war in Iran.
No war in Iran.
It's no good.
Yeah. Alex, Paul.